partire dal 1994 e quindi colgo il frutto di un lavoro di 15 anni.
Listen, they're lost. Leave them. Those lost souls once more, escaping the hardships of the sailor's life, moving towards a lucid place, the promise of a better life. Their home was taken by the sea and drowned.
Co potem?
เ
sensitive to the turmoil of the world around her. Her other face is on constant alert and observes every movement of the Olympic citizens with an inexorable controlling gaze.